I'm embarrassed all the time. I think everything is so embarrassing.
It was like,
And
for
it
me,
really,
it
like,
was,
mostly applies in
I was very much of a quiet kid, so I didn't socialize with a lot of people. So
Like I just want to quiet my mind and just like live instead of overthinking.
holding on to the past and just by like letting it go, since it could really like haunt you by just ruining.
You are listening to Farewell, the Eulogy Project podcast.
Hi, this is Dr. Scott Conti, founding principal of New Design High School. Welcome to Farewell, the Eulogy podcast. I have some folks here with me. If they would introduce themselves, that would be great.
Hi, my name's Yesailly.
Hi, my name is Gabriella.
I'm Athena.
Amazing human beings you are. We're just about to jump into a project at the end of the year at DFL, which is a little interesting. Yesailly was like mouthing words. What were you mouthing over there?
Boring.
I was just about to say
Is
the
it
same
boring?
thing.
Oh,
It's not something you expect for DFL.
no.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you're ever supposed to write your own eulogy, by the way.
Oh,
I mean, maybe you are.
maybe.
All right, so here's the project, and we're going to talk about today what you're thinking about, right? You might know that or not know that, but the idea is that it's called Eulogy Project. So we're actually writing off, saying goodbye, killing something within ourselves that kind of has been around and no longer serves us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that could be something that recently emerged. You know, we're all teenage girls, and it's hard being a teenage girl.
Literally.
Literally. Yeah.
I'm just a girl.
It's not a song. I'm just
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a girl.
It's the only line you know. Okay. So it could be something that just emerged as a teenager. It also might be something that's been, we could say, wreaking havoc with ourselves since childhood, or something that's just been around too long, right? Maybe it served us well. When I did mine with Farb and Mina and Emily, I talked about the always having very high expectations and not. You have high expectations too? Oh,
I think everyone does.
do they?
Yeah, I feel like everybody does.
Oh,
Not really. I used to.
then you,
Then
I feel like it depends on
started
the
living.
situation.
oh yeah.
I feel like there's always a situation that makes you like, okay, now I'm gonna lower my expectations.
Yeah.
Well, I used to be classic that I would see the space between the expectations and my reality, and then I would feel bad because I wasn't hitting those expectations, and then I would do the shutdown thing. You know the shutdown thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the thing I would love to say goodbye to in my life. And I've done a pretty good job saying goodbye to that. But there's moments being a teenage girl. All right, Yesailly, what do you think? Like this project, what are you going to write about? What are you going to say goodbye to? What are you going to kill off? I wish we had vampire music to go along with this.
I actually don't have something I want to write about yet, but some ideas I did have that I'm no longer doing because, like, everybody did that. I was going to do high expectations, and I also wanted to do my anxiety because, I don't know, I feel like when I have really bad anxiety, I can't function. Everything just kind of, like, blurs out.
Yeah. And like that anxiety thing started a long time ago.
Yeah, I think more now that I'm in high school because it's more pressure. Like you know, like you need to get this done. You need to get this done. If you don't get this done, you can't graduate. So I definitely think it started more now.
And where do you put yourself now with handling that anxiety? Like 1 out of 10, with 10 being like anxiety slayer and 1 being like it's destroying me.
9th grade, it was definitely a 1,
Okay.
and now it's like a 7.5.
Oh.
Yeah.
How'd you get there?
Mostly, you know, like with having high expectations and having anxiety, I kind of just like chose to like combine them. Like, okay, you just need to relax. You don't need to get this now. Like, you know, and then also with my teachers, they're very understanding.
Right. So having supportive people around.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thanks.
Very good to write about. I hope you slay that demon.
I will.
What do you think? Do you have something to write about?
Yeah.
You know it right away?
Yeah. The same thing with her, like the expectations, like having high expectations. I have learned very few lessons about that. Like, and like being like relying on everybody else to be happy. I feel like I do that a lot, but like my people that I talk to outside of school. And yeah, I'm gonna write about that.
Okay. Which one though? Is
I feel
burning
like
more
the most important to me is the expectations.
expectations. Where do you get those expectations? Is that like family, you, society?
When I was younger, my dad wasn't really in my life. So I always had that expectations for him, and like I would do it for everybody else. So like with my cousins, I have the expectations for them to count, like to be counted on them, which I always can't. Like my dad, I always like, okay, this and this and this, he's gonna do it. But then like I always get failed, so I was like, you know what, it's time to like lower my expectations for certain people, because like my mom, expectations are high because she always does everything that I always
Like
you know.
she meets your
Yeah, she
expectations.
meets it. Yeah, she never did anything below that or nothing.
But other people you get
Yeah.
disappointed at. Oh, get disappointed, Dad. That's a heavy one. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great to write about. How do you feel about your principal?
he's so cool.
So cool.
He's my bestie.
He's right here with us.
Right.
Yes, here. No, he doesn't. What's up, Athena? Athena Divina. By the way, you'll see it in the next 5 or 10 years. You want to talk about the Athena Divina line?
It's coming out in 2 years, y'all. Sweatpants, hoodies, shirts, crop tops, jorts, all of it. Cop up,
Everything.
everything.
Can't wait to see that.
But I have like 3. Do I have to pick one?
No, we're exploring and having a conversation.
I feel like I have a lot I need to work on right now because literally like this week I went through something. But okay, I'm gonna go and like I feel like overthinking is one for me. I need to stop overthinking for real. Not being able to let things go and unable to forgive myself and others. And it's more like myself or like forgive situations.
It's funny, like we're extremely hard on ourselves sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Like you think you'd be your own best friend and super loving, but sometimes it's easier to love other people.
Then love yourself.
Yeah.
They always say, before you love somebody else, you gotta love yourself.
Word. Like I just want to quiet my mind and just like live instead of
Yeah.
overthinking. Because it doesn't matter, to be honest. It won't matter in 5 years, 2 years.
That's true. Remember that from Untethered Soul. You're spinning around on a small planet in
Literally.
a tiny universe in a huge galaxy.
Yep.
Which one do you think you're going to go with? What's burning more? What's been plaguing you? What will plague the Athena
feel
Divina
like-
line of clothing from hitting the world?
I feel like overthinking because it ties into everything. Because, like, when I'm overthinking about, like, forgiving other people, forgiving myself, and, like, just thinking about situations, like, future, past, present. And it's just, like, I need to quiet that down because, like I said, it won't matter in 2 years.
Do you guys also experience a lot of overthinking?
Yeah.
You know? Good stuff, bad stuff? Sometimes it's all right to...
I mean, it's always like situations that I'd be like, oh my God, like, it's not gonna go well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd be like, I'm not doing it because I
Some-
know I overthink it and be like, oh my God, it's not gonna go well, so I'm not gonna do it.
Sometimes good situations also make you overthink though. Cause like when you do something good for yourself, sometimes it starts to be like, oh, like I really did this by myself, cause you wouldn't expect that from me, you know? I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. I mean, I think, like, I'm a little bit older than you guys. 5 years.
A little bit?
A
What,
Yeah.
5 years.
I think a lot of it.
Just turned 25.
All right.
Okay.
I've actually been meditating longer than you humans have been alive. And, like, one of the first things, we talked about this,
Yeah.
that the first thing you notice when you meditate is just your mind is so busy.
Yeah.
Like, we're, like, not set up for quiet. We're actually set up for, like,
You start thinking about like everything.
Yeah.
I feel like that also happens like when you're going to sleep. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I go to sleep, before I go to sleep, that's when everything just wants to like spit back in my head. And like there'll be times I'll be like, damn, I sat there and I did this.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Can I curse?
I hope so.
You don't. Okay, so the other day I seen this post and it was like you don't realize how fucked up your life is until you tell it to somebody else.
yeah,
Like once you start telling your story, you just pause like damn, like I went through that. Like you don't believe it yourself.
yeah,
Fucked
100%.
up world we live in.
That's an interesting one.
It is. I like that. We posted it.
I like that. It's not that your story is, like, it's not that you're a mess. It's just the
There's, like,
stuff
It's
you've
just
been
like
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
and then you like start realizing why you act the way you act and why you are the way you are.
Yeah. There's a little bit of this idea that how do I say this? That the stuff that's plaguing us, right? The stuff that's hard for us is actually the thing that's going to make us strongest in the future, right? Like if we can figure out how to get over like that overthinking mind, calm it down, learn to like ride that horse, tame it. Do you guys believe that? Like, do we need to go through this hard stuff to become better people, or?
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
I had a saying. It was like, hard things don't happen to you. They happen for you. And it's just like so you can learn and grow from it and become a better person at the end of it. I don't know.
I agree with that. I feel like growing up, I feel like I always learned so many lessons that for me, I never thought it as lessons. I thought it was like, damn, bad luck. Yeah, like that's not always bad luck. But then I realized getting older, like my parents were never together. I had a stepdad, I've had sisters. So it was just like a whole bunch. And then like when I say my story about me and my dad, it's just like, damn, I grew as a person because before I used to sit there, argue with him, cry for him. And it's just like now I don't cry nothing. Like I feel like for me, crying shows that I'm crying over you.
I mean,
Weakness?
Yeah, weakness. Crying shows
you're
weakness.
not Bob the Builder. Like
What's that mean?
like Bob the Builder. There's a relationship like. Let me see how to word it. Okay, so if somebody's not giving you the same effort you're putting into something, then let it go.
Yeah, that's what I learned. I was like,
You always gotta see like the other side, because you could be trying your hardest to make something work, and the other person is trying their hardest to push you away.
Facts.
So, I'm not trying to make this podcast depressing or anything, but it's the truth. You gotta let things go.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, and that's why we need to say goodbye to things in ourselves, right?
Exactly.
Word. But let's end it on like a happy, fun note. You know how fun eulogies and death is? No. Wait.
That's different.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
How should we end this? I want to make sure we go out on a. Go. Thena's got it.
Oh.
No.
Love yourself, love your life, and I feel like all these like qualities are just gonna make you a better person at the end of the day once you learn how to forgive yourself and like tame them.
Yeah.
oh, I learned something too.
Oh,
Like
good.
my grandmother says it in Spanish. She says like when you read a book, you don't read it backwards. Say that the book is your life. You can't go backwards. You gotta go forward. Every chapter, every book has different chapters. So you're in chapter 1, and that's not gonna be the whole book. That's not your whole story.
And then if you notice in a book, every chapter just gets better,
yeah,
more interesting, and then more lessons.
yeah,
You just gotta learn that your past trauma or like, just like your situation, it doesn't define you. You're you. Yep.
Yo, that was a good ending. I love it. I'm Dr. Scott Conti.
He has
Principal.
hair.
I have hair.
I
He's so
see
cool.
it. Earlier when you was
Yeah.
talking and I was like smiling so hard, it's because I was looking at your head, and I wanted to say he actually has hair.
Just a little bit.
I went
Just a
from
little
love to
bit.
hate with this crew so fast. Ladies, say goodbye.
Bye.
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 You've been listening to Farewell, the Eulogy Project podcast, a Spark Studio production.